Hi there, welcome to episode 4 of the Torino Diaries. You're back here with me on Bust the Net. Torino is still top of the table with a 1 point lead on Juventus and the rest of the pack. We've just drawn against Udinese 2-all in the Italian Cup. This is a match that saw Daniel Padelli save 2 penalties. Pretty okay. I'm still happy. We're still messing about with my 4-3-1-2. I'm not entirely confident that we have the right players for the job, but so far the results have been pretty decent. Apart from that defeat to Napoli, which was largely down to my stubbornness. And now we have two big matches coming up. One at home to Inter Milan and the other one away to Juventus. Bad news, Daniel Padelli is injured. And I have to look at this position, or this attacking playmakers position, and find the right kind of players for that position. And that position is actually pretty important. So when I'm looking through the attributes of my attacking group of players, I discover that there aren't a lot of players who can play in that position. Iago Falk is probably one of the better ones. He's got decent work rate off the ball, passing, decisions, first touch, and composure, which make him ideal for that position. His strength is only 7, so that's a bit of a concern because you do expect these players to get bumped around quite a fair bit. So you want somebody who has at least 10 to 11 for strength, and the only real players who can play in that position, well, they aren't AMCs. I got Maxi Lopez, 16 strength, 14, but in the absence of Andre Belotti, who's out with an injury, he can't play there. So what I've done is I've gone to my midfielders and identified one midfielder who can play in that position. That would be Daniel Baselli. Baselli has got pretty good ratings, I would say attributes to play in that position, and we have decided to retrain him for that role. Tactically, very little is going to change for this match. We're going to keep with the same lineup. Rossettini is not going to be playing this match because our friend didn't play too well in that in that win against in terms of who's going to start this match, we've got a few candidates to look at. Wallace will start with Povo, and De Silvestri will be on the right flank. This is the group that's going to take to the pitch. So here we go. It's match day. Torino, Inter Milan. One of the big tests for me in the season. These are teams that I have to not lose to. That will be the goal. Torino will have to prove their credentials to Inter Milan, to Napoli, to Roma, to some extent to Lazio as well. So these are the clubs that AC Milan as well. So these are the clubs that can throw a spanner into the works. Now, looking at what Inter Milan are coming with, they're definitely going to be putting pressure on the flanks. So question for me is, heading into this match, what do I do? If I were to go with a wing back, then I can essentially kiss my flanks goodbye. So even a fullback on attack, I can kiss my flanks goodbye. Looking at my players, I don't have a lot of defensive genius at the back line. Let's look at my back line. Do we have any geniuses at the back who can read the game and, do the deed at the back? Let's look. We have our central defenders. So just looking at the central defenders, we have Polzano, Murray Wallace, Cesaro Bovo, Luca Rossettini, and Marco Capuano. At the back, let's look at the first category. I want to look at anticipation, 13. Okay. Second quality, concentration, 14, 13, 12, 11, 7. And Cesare Bovo is actually the first choice. And his concentration levels are 7. Okay, we've got Murray Wallace, who's 11, not that bad. Marco Capuano is 14. Now, Marco Capuano may be somebody I may have to start playing a lot more. Then we're looking at marking, 14, 14, 13, 12, 15. That's why Cesaro Bovo is playing. His marking is 15, his tackling is 14, his composure is 15, his passing is 14, his teamwork is 14, his work rate is 14. So he's generally a workhorse. He may not have concentration throughout the game, but I have to pair him with somebody who does. So usually he plays with Murray Wallace, who only has 11. So yeah, in terms of acceleration, it's not a very fast defense. So We have to think about a pairing of Marco Capuano and Rossettini in the future. We have to start using them. Now, one other thing that I've noticed people are having an issue with is with injuries. Now, don't worry about your condition. You know, if the player's conditions are anything lower than 85, you might want to think of giving them a rest. Okay, anything above 85, play them. You're never going to get a play at 100%. Just face the facts. That's the real world we live in. So you don't expect SI's football manager to give you players 100% all the time. Now, as far as sharpness is concerned, yeah, that is important. So you need to get their sharpness up. So you got to start playing them some matches. If you can look at the back line, we've already played Bolzano twice. Now, naturally, he's a youngster. We don't expect a lot of great things from him. Murray Wallace, that's a surprise for me. He has come into this team basically on a prayer. All right, I really didn't even look at all his attributes. I saw a few and I went, okay, I need him, because his few was still better than the most in the team. So he just has that balance, you know, that I can play. So Murray Wallace will probably start most of my games. The question is, do I play him in the next game with Marco Capuano? Marco Capuano seems to be the player I should be playing. However, our next match is going to be a tough match against the team that is Inter Milan, and we have to consider that Inter Milan are going to be a challenge for me heading into this match. Oh yes, let's see now. Have I already selected my team? I think I have. I don't think I can make changes anymore. I don't know why I have no idea why I can't make these changes. Where are my defenders? Oh, Cesare Bovo is out. So Capuano is there. Wallace, Danilo Avila, and De Silvestri. Baselli, as you know, I don't have a lot of playmakers who can play in this position, so I just stuck in Baselli. Djardjic is just useless. I don't like Djardjic. I probably am going to sell Djardjic the first chance I get. And Lucas Boye as well, first chance I get, he's sold. Okay, I don't need him. He doesn't fit into my style of play. Samuel Gustafsson, he's 21 years old. I may keep him, but in the long run, I don't know. Not really a top player. So up front, in terms of what I have, not a lot of juice. So here we go. We're all set for the match against Inter Milan. Inter Milan are probably gonna... it's going to be a test. Here we go. Inter Milan are playing with a 4-1 DMY. Now, I really like to think of this as a 4-3-3. If these guys are inside forwards, then you have a lot of problems. Okay, so if this guy drops deep, boom, boom, they come in late. If this guy stays up, then they got target man. And if this guy comes late, that's a 4-man in the box. If these two get added into the mix, there's 6 players during a transition. So you got to look out for all this when you're playing the game. You gotta be able to tell how many of them are going through a transition. Remember that a pitch is divided into 3 parts. There are 3 thirds in a pitch. So if you divide the pitch into thirds, you're gonna have this being the final third, this is the middle third, and this is the defensive third. When you're looking at transitions, you're looking at how the ball moves between thirds. So that's what I plan to do. Okay, so we want to... This is something I'm gonna start doing a bit more of. This is to show everybody on weaker foot. Then I remove this, and then Philippe Melo. We will have to not giving any time on the ball. And then we've got Ansaldi and Santon, who are fullbacks. We're going to force them to... We're going to put them on weaker foot and also close them down. We don't want them to get into positions where they can give us an issue. And of course, we'll close down the goalkeeper as well. Now, how do we play? We're going to start the game control structured. Or rather, I'll just go down to standard, flexible. So we're going to have we're playing a pretty 50-50 start to this game. And we're going to see how Inter Milan come at us. Ideally, if this was really one of my matches where I am trying to progress through and I wasn't playing FM, I'll be playing on at least extended highlights. But this is for YouTube, so I have to play on key so that you guys don't get bored. Okay, so let's go. Well, the first 11 minutes pretty decent. Martinez with the ball. What can he do? He looks up. He plays a beautiful ball to Baselli. Baselli has chance. No, he takes a shot. Baselli. That was, I mean, he had a lot of work to do, and the players are coming into the ball late, which I would expect with a flexible system structured. You know, there's not a lot of people. There are going to be some players involved in transitions, but not a lot. So whenever you play a structured system or a flexible system, there is a bit of a, you need to look at the player attributes as to whether they can unlock a team as well. We are playing rather defensively, I would say. Oh, Lito pokes the ball out to Adair. Adair is going to play it wide to Santon. They are fluid. Yeah, oh, Icardi has scored. This is not good for us. We're going to have to try and come up with a goal now. And I'm probably going to lose this match. Torino are a goal down to Inter Milan. Kind of tough match for us. Come on, boys. Let's get back into this game. Icardi to Philip Melo. To Ansaldi. To Eder. Eder has been shown onto wrong foot, so he's cutting inside. And he will definitely run into a set of players. Oh no, come on. Icardi is through. Yep, fluid, high line. You have to expect those kind of things to happen. Marco Capuono's first match, 6.5. Also a big mistake from me to try Marco Capuono out in this match, but I still haven't found that right mix of players at the back. This Jason Murillo and Miranda, they're both good players. Waldi Fiori with a corner. Wallace rising up. Waldi Fiori will have a chance to do something with the ball. He plays it back to Benazi. Benazi shoots, and Baselli gets the equalizer. The boys are back. Oh. Okay, that was lucky. That was really lucky. Nothing too genius about how we played. We took a lot of risks to come back into this match, but I think I know what I need to do. I'll just pause it for a course. We'll get back to the tactic. Oh no, we want to pause. We don't want this game to run out of control. Okay. Alright, we want to go down. We're still fluid, but I want to go down to control, and I'm gonna have to monitor my backline. Okay, so Marco Capuono has come back 6.9. Maxi Lopez is not having a very good game. Don't really have anybody else who can play as a striker. So that's all the players I need to get in the offseason. Basically, a whole strike force up front and probably one or two fast defenders. Probably I'm going to go after this guy, Jason Murillo, if I can get my hands on him. He's not a bad defender. Okay, Torino managed to pull a goal back. We're now deep into injury time. Hopefully, that was all. Baselli to Murillo. That's why I want this guy. He reads, his defensive reading is pretty good in this game. Big boot up. De Silves reads that, plays it to Obi. Obi again through the defensive line. Maxi goes, he skips one challenge. Now what can he do? He plays it to Baselli. Baselli shoots. Oh my goodness, that would have been a winner right at death. That would have been such a comeback. Okay, we are getting there. The team is getting there. I still haven't found that right AMC at the moment to unlock teams up, and I'm forced to use Baselli. So if any other day it would have been, well, with the right players, I'm definitely going to get this. This team can definitely go quite far. Unlucky boys, it just wasn't our night. So a good result for Torino. We came back to force the draw. Well, we're still within our goal. Our goal is to finish among the top four. We are just a point behind Juventus. We've played the big guns now. We've lost one and drawn one. So we haven't beaten any of the big guns. And the biggest gun is coming up very soon. And that will be Juve. Okay, our Emilio Di Leo, one of my coaches, has come up with some tactical advice heading into the game with our friends Juventus, and he makes some sense. Playing a narrow system would give me one DM, and that DM would be able to defend. and that will be suitable ahead of our next match against Torino. That is very true. And our mentality, we shouldn't be too attacking. Standard makes a lot of sense. So there's certain things that I want to think about. So if I use this system against Juve, I'm probably gonna get lynched. It's not ideal because let's see what Juve are gonna come up. And one thing, especially with matches that involve teams that I am a bit like, these guys are gonna kick my ass. So I like to look at matches where they were at home and they had problems. So this is a match they play against Udinese. They were at home and they lost to Udinese, who came there prepared to defend. The formation Udinese used was so they used a 4-3-1-2, and they actually lined up and covered their flanks really well because they got Lichtsteiner and Patrice Evra bombing up and down the flanks, and they've got Higuain, Dybala, and Luan, and Panic is probably bombing up this way. So they probably got a very right-sided right flank attack. And it makes sense. They had Ali Adnan, Kone, Wag, and they played a system where they were able to lock down one side of the flank. Makes a lot of sense. They had only 4 shots on target, which is a poor conversion rate. And then against then let's look at another match that they had issues with at home. They don't have a lot of issues at home actually. They've done pretty well against Sporting Lisbon. Formations again, Sporting Lisbon play with 2 DMs, and they were at home, and in Europe they're playing this formation, a 3, whatever this formation turns out to be. So again, they didn't create very many chances. What other systems that they use at home against teams that I can't see this because I didn't get all the highlights. Okay, against Genoa at home, again, the team they fancy to beat, they play a 4-3-1-2, and teams that do generally, this team got hammered on the spot by them. So I have to be cognizant of the fact that they are going to use a 4-3-1-2. On paper, their 4-3-1-2 is definitely going to be a lot better than my 4-3-1-2. So I'll probably go to this, my 4-1-4-1. Okay, I got Zappa, Costa, Silvestri, Valdi, Fiori as an anchorman. I'll probably play Benassi as an anchorman. Okay. Obi, Masbaseli, Valdi, Fiori, Zappa, Costa, Evela, Wallace, Bowo, De Silvestre. In goal, Johart, no thank you. We have to show faith with Padelli. This Belotti is injured, so he can't play. So we'll put in Aramal for Belotti. So this is the team that we are gonna set up for the match against Juventus. So here we are, Juventus and Torino. I have yet to submit my players, and thank God I didn't. Look at that. They're playing a 5-3-2. They show me some respect, but this means that I can't use the 4-1-4-1. So what do? I have a system that I haven't been using for a while. This system, it might just have enough in the tank to hold them off, but we haven't been playing with it for a while, so this is a bit of a risk. But let's see what Belotti won't be able to play. He's still injured, so he's out. We'll have to put Bolzano. We'll have to put Martinez up front. Jajic, Falk. Oh man, what choice do I have? And then we got Avila, Wallace, Bovo, and Silvestre. Bovo, I've noticed, is kind of slow, so we'll use Capuano instead. Joel Obi hasn't been playing that badly, but he doesn't suit the system. And then I got Falk, who is probably the only winger that we really have in the team. So this is the lineup that we're going to use. Our defense, we're not going to be defensive structured against them. We're going to be at least standard structured. We're not going to play with such a high line. Okay, so these are the players. This is the system. That's what we're going to do. Because I have to change based on the fact that they're using a 3-5-2. So hopefully we can exploit the space behind those players. Come on, let's show me what you can do. Let's start the match. It's a full packed stadium. It's the derby. Torino and Juventus. Benatia, Lemina. Lemina works the ball up. Certain things I forgot to do. One was to make sure that these guys, yes, they're doing final third pressing. Ten minutes in. Okay. We're not defensive. We're somewhere in the middle of the park in terms of standard and structured. So now I'm going to go up to control and structured. De Silvestre with the throw to Benazzi. Benazzi back to Capuano. Capuano to Baselli, who's tackled from behind. Now come on, ref. Claudio Marchisio has been sent off in the derby. Thank you very much. Oh, they're down a man. But is that going to be enough? All I want is a point, okay? I don't care about winning this match. I just want to make sure that we stay alive in the derby. Okay. So far, so good. So far, they've got 3 shots on target, so I still have to show them some respect. Baselli out to Jajic. Back to Baselli. Plays it to Martinez. Martinez to Jajic. Jajic shoots from range. Oh my goodness. A whisker away. Bring Gustafsson for him. And we'll put Valdefiori here and Baselli on the right. And make some small little changes. Chiellini with the throw. He's got a long one on him. Wallace clears the danger. Benazzi doesn't get... Oh, he does get to the ball. The genius got to the ball first. He plays it to Maxi Lopez. Maxi Lopez has good feet on him. He will find Falk. Oh, okay. And he gets back to Maxi. Valdefiori shoots. Buffon pulls off a fantastic save. Valdefiori had a chance to put that ball into the back of the net. Okay, we're making some incremental changes. We don't want to make wholesale changes to the team because I don't need to win this game. I just want to make sure I don't lose to Juventus. That's how much respect I have for Juve. Wallace hits it. Oh, Mandragora, Sturaro. Back to Chiellini. To panic. Sturaro again. And this has to be offside, ref. They score. Gonzalo Higuain has scored against you. Torino, 10-man Juventus are still too strong for me. Damn it. This is unbelievable. One of those days. Joe Hart, that was my mistake. Joe Hart was in goal. Valdefiori, Baselli. What a tackle from Sturaro. Mandragora to panic. They're just going to pass the ball around now. It's a game set match. Juventus have taken this derby. They've beaten Torino at home. And it's a good result for Juve. It's not the end of the world for Torino. But still, I would have been nice to take a point, but I have to be realistic as well. I don't think that would have been remotely possible. Gustafsson, you can see that. Cuadrado. My players just don't have the first touch and the ball control to beat teams of the caliber of Juventus. So we're still a long way from being that kind of a team. Well, we're deep into stoppage. They have a free kick and the ref is probably going to blow soon. Yeah, and Wallace clears the danger. Will get to Cuadrado. The referee should be calling time on this match any time now. It's cleared the danger. Come on, ref. Enough of a torture. Yes, that's it. The performance was disappointing, but largely down to a manager who wasn't very, wasn't very certain himself on how to handle the situation. Juventus have beaten me. In that match, Juve were definitely changing shapes. They were changing shape once or twice in that match, but I just don't have the players to take them on at the moment. We did pretty well, but in terms of shots on target, I have to be happy, 50% on target, and we did just as well as they did. Unfortunately, our finishing was nowhere near the mark. So Juventus have defeated Torino, and that's our second defeat of the season. So we already lost to Napoli, we lost to Juventus, and we're still we're 4 points behind Juve and 4 ahead of Inter Milan. You just have to keep going, I guess, and see where the season takes us. 2 defeats, Juventus and Napoli. Juventus have lost twice as well, Udinese and Cagliari. Inter Milan, Chievo and Juve. So it looks pretty interesting. Still positive about our chances for the season, and sometimes you don't get the results that you want no matter what you can put out. This is definitely a system that could have worked against Juve. I mean, it's not a very attacking system. It's got threat from here. I've got inverted wing back here, will drop into this position, so giving me still a midfield 3, and Bassetti would have charged it. It's still conservative, but it can work. Unfortunately for us, it wasn't good enough. Once again, I have issues at the back, but we'll have to try and sort that out in the January transfer window. Hopefully we get some money. I need to bring in some more players. I definitely need a striker, and I definitely need a defender who's actually quite fast. And if my first choice is a former player from Scunthorpe playing in the Serie A, something is very wrong. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's edition of the Torino Diaries. If you have any questions, you know where you can find me. You can always drop me a note and hunt me down on Twitter at BusterNet. Sometimes I can respond, sometimes I'm really busy. I do apologize to all those who I've not been able to respond to, but I will try to respond to any of these messages that I receive. You can also drop me a note here on the YouTube channel, and if you like the show, please subscribe, like it, and let me know what you think. I hope to catch up with you guys again pretty soon. You take care. Bye-bye.